It's recorded. Nice.
May have to upgrade my computer, but I want to welcome all our listeners because I'm not liking my camera; it looks fuzzy. I want to
Mine too
welcome
don't
all
feel
our
bad.
listeners. Huh?
Mine too don't feel bad.
Okay. Uh, we are your sisters, and we are hosting this podcast called From Zero. Zero. Okay. And I always like to say from out the gate that zero is not necessarily what we have thought of it as being less than. Zero is really a number of possibilities. Zero is when you find yourself in that place where you are recognizing that nothing makes any kind of sense. You might be at the lowest place in your life. Everybody maybe has counted you out. You really may be at a place where you don't even want to be on this plane of existence anymore. You are in that zero place. And that's when you are in a place where you can hear the best. That's where you are in a place where you recognize your own mess. And that's when God can really open you up and take you out of that test because most of it is just a test. And you can go up above all of the rest and learn how to be your best. And that's what the mystery school is about. I love rhyming. Y'all already know that.
Hey, hey,
So
sis.
we want to encourage you today to go to consider moving from that zero to that SHERO. And we are on that trajectory. I'm using a scientific term, that trajectory ourselves. We don't claim to be that full SHERO, but we definitely can feel ourselves in that flow.
You better know it. Better know. You better know.
And so we want to encourage you. Our topic today is the rapture. That was the download I got this week. We're going to strive to do this program every week. We have decided, my sister and I, instead of airing this on Saturdays at 9, we're going to be airing it or premiering it on 9 a.m. on Sunday. We think that's a great time because a lot of us are just really getting ready for church. You could be listening to us while you're getting ready for church or mosque or whatever. Get your first little tidbit from your sisters, something to think about,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and just move on to the rest of what you're doing that day. Whether you are one like me who tends to just pretty much recognize I am the temple. I tend to Sundays for me is my preparation day where I'm preparing for my work week, and it's really my time. And so we're hoping that that's a better time for you to really think about what it is that we are here sharing with you in terms of joining the mystery school. Selena, did you want to share anything out the gate?
Off the gate. Off the gate. Just like she said, the Sunday is even if you're, because me, I start work on a Sunday, but still there's something about that Sunday energy, which is why I like us doing it on a Sunday because our energy, I feel it again. I feel it again. See, our energy together is is putting a different energy in the atmosphere because we're walking, talking proof that you can change where you are at to get to where you're going, moving in an energy, moving in just in a safe space with the school, in a safe space within yourself, finding your rapture. We'll get there. We'll get there. Finding your rapture and moving in that. And so I'm glad this is a series. This is I'm trying not to get so excited so early because I'm excited about this conversation. I'm excited about this conversation, sis, because it's because because this whole rapture thing, like when I said it earlier, it really set something off, because there really is that belief that the rapture is the end of the world, it's the end of all times, and it's the end, it's the end. And we, most FBAs, because I say we using us as a collective, because I don't think this, because I did a lot of shadow work, understood the brainwashing, because my man from 1830, Darby, that's what you said his name was, Darby, had invented the term for the Western religion. Okay, so you, to hold us down, you've got to die. It's the end of all things. It's the coming. It's the coming. Well, actually, in reality, that rapture, if you look it up, like you said, it's a beautiful thing. It's living in that bliss. So, in technicality, you are dying. You are having a rapture to really live in the rapture. Like, that's such a huge revelation, and so many of us are sitting in that first rapture like it's coming, and oh, I got to get ready for the rapture, I got to get ready for the rapture, not knowing that that rapture that you need to do is that shadow work inside yourself, because that's the rapture that you really need to be walking in, because it feels a little bit different. So you see the light a little bit different, you feel the sun a little bit different when you walking in that real rapture, because the real rapture is not the end of times, it's the beginning of forever. Like, whoo, mm, that feels nice. I feel it, sis. That feels nice. Mm, mm,
Yeah, while you are moving in the energy of the rapture, the first thing I would say out the gate is that one universal law that I want to give all of our listeners is that in order, whatever you believe, because one thing I studied and tried to go and review as we were preparing for this podcast is that the black folks, in terms of what we believe in from the Western Christianity standpoint, is that we're going to get snatched up in the air, and those who are sinful, if you will be left. And they used to play these movies called Left Behind. And then those in Islam, and I have studied with the Nation of Islam, so I'm not talking about other forms of Islam. I'm talking about FBA, Nation of Islam. Uh, Master Prophet Muhammad taught us about a mother plane, and that smaller ships would, I guess, pull us all up and protect us. They even some say leaflets will be dropped to let us know where to go. And then when I looked at Judaism, which basically, from what I have studied, does not embrace FBA at all, especially when I look at their entertainer back after October 7th, Leor Narcus, who basically used black women in a derogatory way to begin the onslaught on the Gazan people, by calling us out, calling the Gazan children, uh, you black woman, you children of a whore. So I don't really, from what I understand, they don't really embrace their own black people. There are Ethiopians over there who are pretty much rejected, but their belief is that they got to get rid of everybody that's hindering them from building this Jerusalem. So they don't really have a rapture concept in the way that I would say that black Christians and black Muslims have. But to speak to the black Christians and the black Muslims on this, I would say the universal principle is what Shalina is saying. We have to match. If either one of those are true, and I'm not here to say that they are or not, or are not. What I am here to say is that you have to become that you want. That's one thing we learn in the mystery school all the time. If we want money or abundance, we got to become money. We got to become abundant. And we have to embody that thing. Okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so the universal principle is that you magnetize that which you are moving in, which you are. You magnetize that to you. That's why they will say, if a person hit the lottery and they got a poverty consciousness, that they're going to be back poor within a month to a year. Why? Because they have not become that. You see what I'm saying? So if you are a FBA Christian and you think that your white Jesus, black Jesus, however you paint him, is going to crack the sky and come back for you and pull you up in this rapture, but you walking around every day depressed and living in a state that's not a raptured state. When you letting everything that's going on in this world confuse you and make you say, this is just so satanic, I'm just, You're not living in rapture. That's not a faith walk. Walking by faith and not by sight is to live in a state of rapture. And it's a whole process to doing that, which is why we say join the mystery school.
Join the school. Man.
She's giving us a
Join the school.
When she said doing that.
Join.
Okay. When she said do that shadow work, but there are tools that Goddess Vicky gives us. There are methods that she gives us. There are practices that she gives us that help us to use the tools that we, or in the theory that we may have from our religious institutions to live and walk in a state of rapture. So while I tend to lean more towards, I would say, the Nation of Islam teachings, because I have seen unidentified objects before, because I embrace and love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he actually saved my life at one point when I was a teenager and was suicidal. The reality for me is that regardless of whether any of it is true, being a member of the mystery school has caused me to move in a way where I'm in rapture every day, babe. I'm in rapture every day. People try to understand, why is she so full of light, and why is she so lighthearted, and don't she see what's going on? And yeah, but I also see what's going on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now, we
Yes.
give
Because
y'all
it's
a couple of. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just feel it. I just feel it. Like I feel what you say, because that's rapture every day. Every day.
And a few definitions I was sharing with Shalina before we started the podcast is that the origin of the, and she kind of alluded to it, but the origin of the idea of a rapture is not really biblically based to our FBA Christians. It started in 1830 by an American preacher by the name of John Darby. So basically you have a white man's interpretation of a Bible that basically was a version of the Bible, because most of us have studied somebody else's version. So we all have these versions. And then beyond that little version of what some white person told you, you then take another interpretation of it from John Darby, and you live in your life based on that. And just know that. I'm not saying that, you need to leave that. You just need to be aware. Be honest with yourself. One of the things I was sharing with my sister earlier is that it's not that the mystery school has taken me away from some of what my beliefs have been. It has just made me honest with myself about whatever my beliefs are. And I'm able to determine what's a belief and what is something I really know, what's tried and what's not tried. Because when you step into the lab, you have to try it out and find out what is really working for you and what's really not. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always give up that which may not be working, because you're not always ready to let that go. One of the things I find with my diet, I know that there are certain things that I've studied just, realizing that there's, for example, I would say with me, I'm lactose intolerant, okay? I'm not supposed to mess with cheese, any milk products, nothing like that. But when my auntie make that homemade mac and cheese, okay, I'm going to have some of that. I'm going to just go ahead and be congested and constipated and take what I need to take to try to clear my system. Because that is something I'm honest with myself is where I'm at with it. Like that's one thing I feel the mystery school really helps us to do. It's just to really see things as they are because you're stepping into the lab and you really have to look at yourself on every level and you're going to embody everything that you are. And when you do that, you're no longer feeding this I call societal world of lies because you're not lying to yourself anymore. While you're looking at the world from your two eyes and unable to be raptured because this eye still closed, right? And you walking around scared and depressed and all of that. And a lot of that is because you have yet to look at yourself and deal with the lies that's inside of you. So you're feeding the machine. And that's why it has been delayed in its falling so that we could get on with a righteous and just world. Because I'm ready for that. I'm that girl that's looking to bring in that righteous world. I'm that girl, right? And I'm unapologetic about it. Right. So because I have had to face all my, and still am, facing all my light and my dark places and realizing that all of that is a part of me. And some of that has purpose. Like, we've been taught that darkness is all bad. No, let me tell you something. Darkness is where the seed needs to go. Darkness is what all things are created out of. When we talk about being black, we're not talking about just a skin color. We're talking about the power of all that everything emits from the blackness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think that's what kind of sometimes scares our white supremacist brothers and sisters because the blackness takes over everything.
All of it.
Because it's where everything comes from.
It's
where everything goes. Everything
comes.
Go ahead, sis.
Reading my mind, sis. You reading my mind. You reading my mind. It's where it all starts and where it all ends. Yep, you reading my mind. Yes.
One thing I had a person who worked at funeral homes tell me, and I can't really. Somebody else will have to get on our timeline and in our chat and let me know if this is true. But one thing I found that one person that I had, a friend of mine that used to work at funeral homes, used to tell me that she was like, yeah, did you know that when white people die, the reason they have to bury them so quickly is because they turn black. Like they could wait weeks before they bury us. But white folks, they will turn black. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It's like they turn back to their original where they came. They turn black. They turn dark.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before, Shalene?
Yeah, and I had to think about it because I've done candy striping as a teenager and stuff, and I've seen some shit. I've seen some shit. Yeah, and because it's like when a white person gets bruised enough, and it goes from beyond purple to black. It's the same thing as whenever their body starts to just shut down and decay. Nature starts taking over and it goes back to its original form.
Wow.
Because the body just naturally starts changing just back to its original color. Because once everything is devoid from it, what's left. So yeah, that's why when a white person's bruised, that loss of those red blood cells is making it change all those different colors darker and darker and darker. So yeah, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. That science doesn't lie.
So much as FBA people that we're not told. Like certain things are kept under, under cover. And so, while there are many white supremacists, I won't say all whites, but many white supremacists run around saying lies about us, it's really their own low self esteem about who we really are. And and this is just Sharice, and this is my belief. I can't say I can prove this yet, but I totally believe that one of the reasons that they pushed and maybe still push to this day, that at one point their scientists were teaching that that man came from apes and monkeys, that he was originally, when I was coming up in school, they used to have this little chart where you had the ape and then he rising up into this man walking on, you know.
I remember that. I remember that nonsense.
When I believe that he had that in his books because he would rather say he came from an ape and a monkey than to admit that he came from a black man and a black woman. To admit that I'm your mama, that I am your
You
daddy. You not gonna say that. You gotta
you would rather.
say, and I believe that's why, we just had an incident in the school where they got this white teacher who called the little young boy, and that's why I believe in homeschooling. But anyway, she called the little black boy who was in this white classroom. She's singing happy birthday to him, calling him a monkey. But the reality is, when we look at what a monkey looks like with no lips and stuff, it looks more like them than us. You know what I'm saying? And hairy and the whole 9 yards. But the reality is, you got to call me a monkey because you chose to make the monkey your mom and your daddy. So it's really calling me the monkey is really admitting that I'm your real mom and daddy. And I'm just looking at all that. I'm looking at how twisted they want this. Lies, the truth be slipping in there. It'll be hidden in all the lies.
Always, always. But it's that hidden truth in the lies that we get lost up, spend so much time getting lost up in, that now that the ball is dropping, so to speak, the sky is falling, the world is shifting in a way that it's undeniable. It's been in the making for centuries. It's in the making for centuries. That's why this mystery school is so important, because this rapture happening right now has been in the making for centuries. That's why you got to do that work within yourself. That shadow work is so important. So important, because but they, like you said, they wanted us to believe so bad that human evolution came from monkeys, that they didn't want you to believe that you were the evolution of everything. So now that you know that you're the evolution of everything, the world is crumbling. Whose world is crumbling? It ain't mine. You know why? Because I'm walking in the rapture. I'm walking in the rapture. I was able to do that shadow work, and I'm not even gonna flex. It was the mystery school that made me do the shadow work. And be prepared when you do the shadow work, because real shadow work will have you torn all the way down. If you're doing layers of skin, you going to be torn all the way down to them bare bones, and they gonna be scraped all the way clean, and you gonna be putting yourself back together with your spirit and your ancestors with the right knowledge, the right information so you can't be torn down anymore. So you walk different in the rapture. See, your clothes are different in the rapture of the real you than it is in the one that they brainwash you with. If you really think the world is coming apart right now, you are in that brainwashed rapture. You don't understand. Baby, the rapture's here. The rapture's here. We walking in it. And it's beautiful. My world is shining. Your world is shining, baby. I know the mystery school, that world is shining so bright because it's putting the light back into so many worlds, and we're putting that light back in the world. Stop playing in these streets. Stop playing in these streets. How we're doing this, where we've grown, how it's not a game. It's not a game. It's not a game.
And we have many of us gone into the religious institutions to have, and it's okay to have network of people to be around, but it's we have entered into the day and the time where you're going to need that light to shine. Whatever light you claim that religious institution was helping you to discover that's inside of you, that light is going to be able to be tested. Like if you're walking around with a very low wattage because you have not really dealt with what you've been learning, you're going to be quickly lost in the sauce. It's sort of like, you know, how some of us used to use a little, when I was little, my mom would get us a little night light. It's only so much you could do with that little night light.
Only so much. Just so much. It'll get you
You don't need
right
to
there.
increase that.
Yes.
Oh,
Come on now, sis. Yes.
that wattage is really a matter of the energy, the spinning, right? And that light and that the amount of energy and that rapturing that you get involved in, hallelujah, woo,
Girl, I heard you over
comes
here
with
screaming. This girl ain't want to get.
comes with truth. It does. It comes with truth. It comes with authenticity. The truth, being honest with yourself, right? The rapture from zero
Girl.
to SHERO, right? And so I'm gonna give you guys a couple of definitions that basically come from a couple of dictionaries. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines rapture as an expression or manifestation of ecstasy or passion, a state or experience of being carried away by overwhelming emotion, a mystical experience. That's the Merriam-Webster. Vocabulary.com defines the rapture as a feeling of emotional ecstasy, so magical, it says so magical, it's almost as if you've been transported to some other world.
That. Mm-hmm.
So I would say that for me, doing the work of being in the mystery school, stepping into my lab, has transported me to another world. I don't even, I can honestly say what they used to say when I was growing up in the Christian church. I'm not of this world. And that's why what's going on in this world don't have me in no frenzy. I'm looking at it like, okay, go ahead and do what y'all gotta do. Go on and implode because everything got to get out the way for my righteous world to be born.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
what I see. But you will be blinded by what you see if you're not raptured. Not raptured. And you're never going to be raptured if you don't do the work. Join the mystery school.
Join, join, join.
And I mean, you're not going to be raptured now or later, whatever that later is for you, because you got to match that energy.
You have
Don't
to.
get it
You
twisted.
have to. You have to. You have to. You can't dwell waiting on a rapture when the rapture is actually waiting on you. So
A story
you gotta,
comes to
you
my
gotta.
mind from. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say you gotta want it. You gotta want it.
A story comes to my mind from the scriptures, from the biblical scriptures, where we are told about a master who basically has these servants, and he gives all these servants what they call talents. And I presume the talents at that time were probably a form of money, but he gives them all these talents. I like to think of the talents as spiritual gifts, but however you want to read that story, because it has meaning on many levels. Anyway, you get a few of the servants while the master is away go and invest those talents and cause those talents to increase and multiply. You have one of the servants who is fearful. So he buries the talent, thinking that I don't want to lose it. I don't want my master to be mad at me, so I'm gonna bury it and I'm gonna make sure that I can give it back to him when he gets back. So when the master returns, he calls each one of the servants, and each servant comes before him. This servant says, "Well, you gave me this amount, and I've doubled it or tripled it or whatever." He says, "Great, wow, you're a faithful servant. You took the talent, you did this, I love it." Calls the next servant, he gave him a little less. He's like, "I had a little less, but I took that and I invested it and I still bought you back, more than what you gave me." He's like, "Awesome. I love it. Go ahead. I forgive you more now. I'm going to promote you. Go on and do your thing," right? And then one servant who came that had buried the talent, he said, "Well, I know that you are, a kind of man that, when you gave this to me, I didn't want to take a chance on losing. I didn't want to, provoke your anger in any way. So here's the talent that you gave me." And according to the story, the master was angry with that particular servant. He said, you could have done any number of things with this talent, but all you did was bury it. You are a waste, basically. He doesn't use those words, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, "You a waste." He's like, "Take that talent from him and give it to those who know how to invest my money and get him out of my face. You no longer work for me." So I'm saying that to say, because that's what comes to my mind when we think about this rapture idea, is that there is a light and there's talent and we are all here with a purpose. And if we think that we don't have to do something with that, if we think you could go to your little institution every Sunday, sit down, go home, and just keep that talent hid inside of you, and don't think it's something you got to do to help give birth to something righteous, to multiply the energy of a raptured state so that a righteous world could come into place that will stop all this insanity we seeing every day, then you got it twisted.
Come on now.
And you're going to find yourself being dismissed. And I just need you to hear that.
Just like that, because that's what world does. Skadoodle. Doodle, get up out of here. I ain't even got. I ain't even gonna give you full wave energy. Bye bye. Yeah,
The
say
rap.
that.
So yeah, I feel like I always do a prayer to make sure that I'm in alignment with what I feel that our ancestors want me to say. I feel like that was a major piece of what I needed to say because I feel this sense of release. Uh, no, I want to honor on this particular podcast our great new ancestor, our great mother, the great Asada Shakur. To me, it had great meaning that Shalina and I had recorded our podcast. I believe it was the 24th. No, let me think. We recorded our podcast. Yeah, it was the 24th. It was on the 24th we recorded our podcast. She decided to take her leave on the 25th, which adds up to a 7. I know that for sure. So it was September 25th she exited. And the goddess even told us to, I went immediately when I saw her posted on X. I immediately went and grabbed some of my alcohol and poured libation in my plant and did a drink towards my great mother, right? Because I was honored by the fact that to me, she is, I want to say, dispersing her energy towards not just me and us, but to all of us who have work to do. So that when they exit this plane of existence, I totally believe we are granted some of that. Woo, some of that power. Especially those of us who
They're
honor.
releasing. I feel like it's a release because we're all made of stardust in human form.
Mm,
So when she exited, it was the release of her stardust back out, and it's coming
mm,
down, and it's like, who's it landing on? Who's that touching?
ooh,
You see that dust
ooh.
that's landing on you? You see where that came from? You see where that came from?
Yes,
Don't play with that. You
yes,
can't play with that.
yes.
Like, it was, nothing's ever by coincidence. All
That's
all these
right.
things that have been happening, just that energy, like, because that was a shift. That was a
Yes,
shift because her life and her time very pivotal, but the world is shifted in such a way, and now she's handed it off to the rest of us. And so the rest of us, I feel like some of us are sitting in that mystery school. So what are we going to do with that stardust from a brilliant star? What are we going to do with that? We are also of stardust, so you can't think that that extra bit of is just not going to do something to you. That's part of your rapture right now. And it's not by chance that we're talking about this right now. It's part of the rapture right now. Because she lived her rapture so she could live her rapture, and she's gone to a unique place to share her rapture with everybody else. What are we going to do with that? Cuz something like that doesn't happen all the time in your lifetime. That doesn't, especially in the season that it is, this fall, this autumn season. It's not by chance and coincidence. So what are we doing right now? What shadow work are you doing right now for this rapture? Because it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different energy and light going on right now. There's a reason for all of this. So like you said, how high is your wattage? How bright are you willing to put your bulb? Are you willing to put some more juice to that bulb to see how bright you can get it? Are you willing to put some more bulbs together to see how bright y'all can illuminate? Rapture, baby. That mystery school will get you there. It'll help get you there if you ain't already there. It'll put bricks in your path to help make your bridge on the other side, other way. It'll help you get there. Ah, Ashe, sis. Ashe.
You know, propaganda, you have to call it, that was pushed about our great mother, the lies, and the latest attempt to get us to not honor who we honor, wanting to force us to honor who we don't honor, and wanting to treat us like we're still slaves. The reality is, our ancestors have suffered enough. And we are of the, I like to think of the Joshua generation. And the promise is ours to have. And I am one who, right now, earn my income working with police officers, which for me, and I learned this through the mystery school, I can't even, this part I'm about to say, is in alignment with my spiritual uh, self, Sharifa, who is a sheriff, who is a law enforcer on a spiritual level. So once I understood my alignment, it made my why, because I couldn't understand after coming from an FBA family, who basically some of my cousins wanted to denounce me when they found out I was working with the police department. I've been there about 7 years now. But the reality for me, and I really want to speak to the propaganda too, is that honoring my great mother, Assata Shakur, and the lies that this government told on her and on my brothers, the Black Panthers, and on and on and on, Martin Luther King and Malcolm, and all of my heroes and sheroes who have been denounced by a wicked government, who will have to pay for that in the form of reparations and other things. It will happen. The day is here.
Oh,
But I would
mm-hmm.
say that being one who honors her agreement, and I do my best on my job in terms of bringing a good energy and respecting those who respect me. And there are officers who have good intentions, and there are officers who do not. So for me to honor my mother, my great mother, for someone to stand up and flap their mouth to say, for me to honor my great mother is to discount those who I work with every day. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And I don't mind saying it. I don't mind saying it because I know who I am.
Say it, sis. Say it, sis.
So, um,
Say it,
so
sis. I
I
love
just
it.
want to
I love it.
establish today the integrity and the truth, because I represent, just as our teacher, Goddess Vicky Diller of the Mystery School, we represent the establishing of a true and righteous world, a world of integrity, and we stand in that.
Yes.
And that's why I can walk and I can live in this raptured state, because I don't let the rhetoric and the lies confuse me. I walk in the truth of my own integrity. All right, we're going to go ahead and let my sister close it out.
Oh, family. Family, I appreciate y'all coming and being with us, because this is definitely from the divine. Definitely from the divine. Um, I just feel like giving blessings, because I feel like somebody hearing this is actually hearing this for the first time. Welcome. Um, and you're a little bit scared of where your life is going and what's going on in the world, and you do kind of feel like there's a rapture going on, that you really don't know what's going on. And I feel like this is really going to resonate with you. This podcast in particular is really, really going to resonate with you. And I want you to know that it's okay. I want you to know that it's okay, because this mystery school, I promise you, is a safe place. It's a safe place. So if you have not joined, but you feel like you need a safe place to let go because you don't know where you belong, I promise you, you belong there. Because it isn't the only thing that's one thing there is that we all want something better for ourselves, and we have found a teacher who wants something better for us and is willing to guide us to that. And is willing to give us truths in a way that nobody else is even willing to give them to us. And I encourage you to do that. Walk in your faith. Walk in your, thank you, Spirit. Walk in your universe. Walk in your cosmic self. Because your cosmic self is your raptured self. You are the Big Bang. You are the Big Bang, and I give thanks. I give thanks.
Thank you for that, divine sister. With that, we are going to say that is our second episode of From Zero to Hero. We're going to put the link to the Mystery School below. Click that link today. And we look forward to seeing you in the school, because that's where we play.
Yes,
Go in that sandbox
yes,
with us.
yes, yes. Have a great time. We share our toys in the sandbox. We share our toys in the sandbox. Damn it.
Family, have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon. Much love.
Peace.